Hello everyone, how's it going? This is Piyush. Welcome to my channel. In this video, let's look at how to file your California state taxes this year. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. The tax season is here and the deadline for this year is 15th April 2024. So we want to make sure we send out all the tax forms before this date. You need to file two types of taxes. One is your federal tax, which is common to every one of us no matter where we live. And the second one is state taxes where you earned your income. So if you were staying in California and earned your income in California, you need to also file state taxes with California in addition to the federal tax. I had a 8 months internship in Los Angeles, and without a doubt, LA is a great place to live in. I made a lot of friends out there, tried a lot of new cuisines, and also traveled to a lot of new places around California. So I definitely had a great time, but now it's that time of the year where we need to file state taxes. It might seem complicated at first, but believe me, as a student, any tax filing in the US is not that difficult if you try to make an effort to try to understand how the taxes work and which forms to use and where to put the numbers. Again, as I mentioned in my previous videos, tax filing is nothing more than a bunch of papers and some numbers. We just have to know where to put these numbers in the forms. This video wouldn't have been possible without two of my friends. One is Amey, who is my friend from Purdue. He helped me a lot on which tax forms to fill and where should we make the entries for various incomes. The other friend is Meghna, who reached out to me and also helped me a bit in my tax filing. So I want to thank both of you for helping me in California state taxes. Also, many people reached out to me asking if I will make a video on state taxes in California. So there you go. I have already made a video on how to file your federal taxes. If your university provides Glacier tax software, you can use the link right here. I have made yet another video. If your university doesn't provide any software access, you can still file your federal taxes manually without any software. You can use the link right here. If you earned your income in Indiana, you were a student in Indiana, or you were employed in Indiana, I have made a video on how to file your Indiana state taxes. Again, you can refer the link right here. I want to give out one disclaimer. I'm just a student like you all who graduated in December from Purdue. I had a 8 months of internship in California, which is why I need to file the California state taxes. And this is how I filled my tax form, so you can definitely refer to this video. But if your tax situation is more complicated me, I would definitely recommend to contact your tax professional at a university or any paid agent. Apart from that, you can feel free to reach out to me at my email. You can see it right here and we can discuss further because I would love to clarify any doubts in the best way I can. As I have said many times that as an international student, the tax filing is not that difficult. So we want to make sure to at least try to start filing our taxes by ourselves. There are definitely paid agent where you can just throw out money and they will file the taxes for you. But we want to be personally responsible for our financial lives because you pay almost 20% taxes. So you should know where your money is actually going and how the taxes are calculated. So now I want to tell you my situation. First, I'm a non-resident alien for tax purposes. As I mentioned, I'm currently on my OPT on my F-1 visa. Second is that I had three types of income. One is Form W2, which is through employment in California. Second is through dividend income that I earned in 2023. And the third is interest income that I earned. Now I will start sharing my screen and let's get into it. So the first step is downloading all the required forms for our tax filing. The first and the main form is Form 540 NR. So let's download that. This is how it will look like. The second form is Schedule CA for 540 NR. So let's download that as well. This is how it will look like, so make sure you download both of these forms. Before we start to fill out our forms, I want to mention that there are detailed instructions provided by the California state government. So if you are stuck in any of the lines while filling the forms and I don't clear that, then you can definitely refer to the instructions by the government. So I will show you how to find that. So if you see these instructions, you can see all the lines that are applicable in the form and you can just keep scrolling and see all the boxes, like for example line 10, line 9, what to enter in that and exactly how to see if it's applicable to you. So this will definitely help you, and there's a similar instruction manual for the Schedule CA as well. This is how it will look like, and again you can see all the general information, all the specific line instructions as well. So it will be really helpful if you keep this tab open as well while you fill your taxes. So now coming to our main form, that is form 540NR. Let's start with that. The first step is entering your first name, initial and the last name, and also your SSN number right here. This is only for the spouse, so you can leave it blank if you don't have any. And coming to the street address, so enter the current address that you are staying in. It shouldn't be necessarily from California, but if you worked in California last year and currently staying in Indiana, so you can enter that address right here. Make sure it's current as of now. This portion can be left blank. Enter your date of birth right here in this format, and this is for the spouse date of birth. Prior name if you had any, otherwise you can leave it blank. Select your filing status, so for me it's single, I take that. You can read this. If this applies to you, you can tick this box, otherwise you can leave it as it is. Line 7, it says if you checked box 1, 3 or 4, enter 1 in the box. So I selected 1 here, so I will enter 1 right here, which comes out to be 144 for me. The line 8 and 9 can be left blank. This only applies to blind people or the senior citizens. The 10th box can be left blank as well if you didn't have any dependents in 2023. Now moving to the second page, make sure you enter your name and social security number in all of the pages. Coming to the line 11, it's just the addition of line 7 through 10, so it's only 144 for me. So the line 12 is for California wages from form W2, so only add income that you earned in California and not from any other states. The line 13 is simply adding line 11 from the form 1040NR. So if you already did your federal tax filing, you will have this form right here. You can go to line 11 and enter the amount right here. From the next line, it says enter values from schedule CA. So this is where we will move to our next form, that was schedule CA 540NR, and we will come back to this form later. This is our second form, that is schedule CA. Again, start by entering your name as shown on the form 540NR. Enter your social security number. The first is your California residency. So if you go to the California state tax website, you can see how to determine whether you are a resident, non-resident or a part-year resident. I was a non-resident, so I ticked this box right here. Second line says I was domiciled in. You have to enter the state where you were domiciled in. So if it was California, you will enter CA, but for me it's foreign country, so I will enter FC right here, which stands for foreign country. This can be left blank. The fifth line again asks you for state of residence, so which will be FC, foreign country for me. The sixth line is number of days I spent in CA for any purpose. So I came to Los Angeles on I think 6th Jan 2023 and left around 31st July. So I will just enter the total number of days by seeing the calendar and entering it right here. Next is if you owned any property or home in California. If no, enter N. If yes, enter Y. So I will enter N right here. The 8th line can be left blank. Next comes the part 2. So we have a lot of columns right here, but don't worry, we will go into it step by step. As you see, the column A stands for federal amount. So this is simple because you just have to take your form 1040NR and enter the values as it is. So make sure you read both of the lines, because sometimes line 2 here won't be the same as line 2 in form 1040NR. Make sure you read the headings properly and then enter the amount right here in column A. First is entering wages from your form W2, box 1. You can find it in 1040NR. Enter the same amount right here. Have a look at all of these lines, but none of them were applicable to me, so I just left them blank. In 1Z is simply addition of all these lines, so it will be the same for me as 1A. So I had interest and dividend income in 2023, but if you saw my federal tax filing video, it was taxed at flat 30% and it wasn't reflected in taxable interest or ordinary dividends on 1040NR. That's why I left this portion blank. The column B and C can be left blank, and the column D is simply subtracting column B from column A and adding column C. So we don't have anything right here, so it will be the same as column A. So I entered this value similar to this and this value similar to this value. Column E stands for income earned in California, so only enter the wages that you earned while in California. And 1Z will simply be the addition, so enter the same value right here. Moving to the next page of this form. This is only for additional income, which says from federal schedule 1. So if you didn't have any schedule 1 during your federal tax filing, all these columns can be left blank, as it was the case for me. I left everything blank, and let's move to the next page. These lines can be left blank, and 10th is simply the addition of line 1z through 7. So I didn't have much line items, so it will be the same value for me in all of these columns, as you can see in the first page. Coming to the section C, again it says adjustments to income from federal schedule 1. So if you didn't have any schedule 1, you can leave this portion blank. You can go through each of the line items if it applies to you, but none of them were applicable to me, so I left all this portion blank. Let's move to the next page. So I didn't have any of these as well. So the line 27 is simply subtracting line 26 from line 10. I didn't have any value in line 26, so line 27 will be similar to the one I entered in line 10, which is this values right here. Coming to the part 3, so this is for the itemized deductions for California. You have to check this box if you did not itemize for federal but will itemize for California. If you want to itemize deductions in your California state tax, you will have to fill the form Federal Schedule A and put all the relevant values right here. But I am claiming the standard deduction that we have for California, so I will leave the itemized deduction portion blank. To the next page, again I will leave this portion blank because I don't want to claim itemized deduction. Job expenses and certain miscellaneous deductions, none of them were applicable to me, so I left all of these boxes blank. Itemized deductions for me is 0 because I don't want to add that. Line 30 says enter the larger of amount on line 29 or your standard deduction. So standard deduction in 2023 for single people is 5363. So definitely my itemized deductions wouldn't have been more than that. If your itemized deductions you think might come more than 5363, you can just fill out these lines as per the instructions. But if you think your itemized deductions won't be more than this value, you can simply enter 0 and enter the standard deduction value right here, which is 5363 for the year 2023 for single or married filing separately. The last part in this form is part 4, which is California taxable income. So the first line says enter your California income from part 2, line 27, column E. So which is this value right here, 27 part 2 and column E, which is 38,291 for me. So I will enter that amount in the first line. The second box says enter your deductions from line 30, so simply enter this value right here. Third line says divide part 2 line 27 column E by part 2 line 27 column D. So you will just have to divide this line, which is 38,291 for me, divided by 40,736, which comes out to be 0.94 for me. Make sure you take it to 4 decimal places. Line 4 is simply multiplying line 2 by line 3, which is multiplying this amount by this value right here, which comes out to be 5041 for me. The last line is California taxable income, which says subtract line 4 from line 1, which is subtracting this value from this value right here. This comes out to be $33,250 for me. Now let's move to our main form, that is form 540NR. So this is our main form. If you remember, we added all the values until here. The 14th line is enter the amount from schedule CA part 2 line 27 column B. If you remember, we didn't have anything for column B and column C, so this can be left blank. The line 15 is simply subtracting line 14 from line 13, which will be the same as the line 13, so I will enter that right here. Didn't have any column C, so the line 16 can be left blank. Line 17 is simply combining line 15 and 16, so it will be the same as this value. I will enter that value right here. Enter the larger of itemized deductions or standard deduction, which you can find in line 30. So enter that value right here from your schedule CA. The line 19 is simply subtracting line 18 from line 17, which is subtracting this value from this value, which comes out to be 35,373 for me. So if you see, I selected tax table in this line. This is because there is some limit. If you earn a certain amount of income, you have to use tax table, otherwise you have to use tax rate schedule. So let's look at the tax instructions. This is the tax table for 2023 for California tax. So see where your income falls. For me it was 35,373. So let's see where it falls. So my taxable income will fall between these two values. It says if your taxable income is at least this value but not over this value, the tax for my taxable income, I have to refer to these lines right here. This says what 1 or 3, 2 or 5 or 4 means. So I was single, so it will be 1 or 3 for me. So I will have to see this value right here, which comes out to be 818. You can see where your income falls, and according to the tax filing status, if you are single, only refer to this column right here. Note the tax value. And so this is how I came up with the 818 value. You can enter your tax accordingly. Make sure you see it correctly so that we don't make any mistakes. The next line is California adjusted gross income from schedule CA part 4 line 1. So you can refer that form and enter the value right here. Line 35 says CA taxable income from schedule CA part 4 line 5. So again you can refer to that form and enter the value right here. The line 36 is California tax rate, which is simply dividing line 31 by line 19, which is dividing this value by this value right here. To round it to 4 decimal points, line 37 is simply multiplying line 35 by line 36, which is multiplying this value by this value, which comes out to be $768 for me. Line 38 is dividing line 35 by line 19, which is dividing this value by this value right here, which comes out to be 0.94 for me. Calculating the CA prorated exemption, you just have to multiply line 11 by line 38, which is multiplying this value by this value right here. It comes out to be 135 for me. The line 40 is subtracting line 39 from line 37. So which is subtracting line 39 from line 37, which is 633 for me. The line 41 can be left blank if you didn't have any schedule G1 or FTB 5870A. And 42 is simply adding line 40 and line 41, which is this value right here. I didn't have any special credits. You can have a look if it's applicable to you, otherwise you can leave it blank. And let's move to the next page. Again, I didn't have any credits. The line 63 is simply subtracting line 62 from line 42. So I didn't have anything right here. I will enter the same value as line 42. Other taxes, I didn't have any, so I will leave this portion blank and come to line 74, which is adding line 63, 71, 72 and 73, which is 633 for me. 81 says California income tax withheld. So go to your form W2 and see how much California state tax was withheld from your pay and enter the amount right here. You can leave all these portions blank if you didn't have them. And line 88 is simply adding 81 through 87, which will be the same value as this. 91 was not applicable for me, so I just left it blank. Line 92 says if line 88 is more than line 91, subtract line 91 from line 88. But I didn't have anything right here, so I will enter the same value right here. This can be left blank. The line 101 says overpaid tax. If line 92 is more than line 74, subtract line 74 from line 92. So my line 92 is more than line 74, so I will subtract 633 from 1644, which comes out to be 1011 for me. This can be left blank if you want all of your refund. Come to the line 103 and it is simply subtracting line 102 from 101, which is the same value as this for me. Moving to the next page. Tax due, this line is only applicable if line 92 is less than line 74. You will see how much taxes you owe to the government, but for me I'm getting a refund, so I will leave this portion blank. Contributions, if you made any donations in any of these funds, you can enter the amount right here, otherwise you can leave it blank. Make sure you add your SSN and name in all of the pages in this form. Amount you owe, again we don't owe anything, so we can leave this portion blank. None of these applies to me, so I left this blank as well. 125 says refund or no amount due, subtract line 120 from line 103. So I didn't have anything in line 120, so it will be the same as line 103 for me, which is 1011. Show that if you have refund or no amount due, this is the address where you have to send your documents to the California government. Next section is simply entering your routing number, selecting whether it's a checking or savings account, entering your account number and the direct deposit amount. You can send your direct deposit to 2 different accounts, but I think it's convenient to only send it to one account, so you can enter the details, make sure they are correct and see the refund amount right here. Coming to the last page, we don't have to fill anything. When you print it out, you just have to sign it manually, put the date, and this is only for the spouse signature. You have to enter your email address right here and your preferred phone number. This section is only if you had a paid preparer, so you can leave all this portion blank. You only have to sign, put the date, enter your email address and your preferred phone number.
That's it for your forms. We are done with our California state tax filing.
So now we are done with our California state tax filing. Now it's your duty to print out the forms, sign wherever required, put the date, and send it to the correct address before the deadline. I had the perception that the California state taxes is complicated. There are a lot of pages in the forms, but as you saw, most of them don't apply to us. So it's very simple if you just had two or three types of income. Comment down if you have any doubts. I will try to clarify it in the best way I can. Like and subscribe my channel if you find my content useful. Please share this video with your friends who earned income in California. This will definitely help them. Thank you again for watching this video. Until next time.